All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Now I'm here to wrap up day 17 of the Aaron Hernandez murder trial. Now today we heard from a few people today. We heard from Tyrone Crawford. We heard from D, the football player. We heard from Papu. So it was quite an interesting day with the testimonies, but I want to start out that it was kind of a heated exchange between Ronald Sullivan and the judge. And Ronald Sullivan saying that, he's constantly being cut off and he thinks it's inappropriate. Then he said that throughout his time as a lawyer throughout the country, he has never experienced this before. So there was a heated exchange right there. And I thought he was justified. I mean, at times when Attorney Sullivan is bringing forth his motions, the judge sometime will say, "Are you through yet?" I've never heard that since watching cases, and I've been watching cases for a very long time. I just haven't been reporting cases, but I've watched some cases, and I've seen some cases where the lawyer would put forth an hour motion explaining his motion, and the judge has never cut that attorney off. And I thought it was surprising that the judge is doing that to Ronald Sullivan. He's done this on several occasions within this trial. In fact, I told a friend of mine that it doesn't matter what motions that the defense brings up, the judge denies every motion. For example, let's say that there was a random person in the club that Aaron Hernandez bumped into. And let's say if the prosecution say, "Hey, we would like this person to be a witness now," all of a sudden. And then the defense will bring forth the motion saying why they don't think that person should be heard as a witness. The judge will deny it. He will grant that. Just something like that. I mean, I'm just saying he hasn't done that, but I'm just saying they haven't won a motion. The judge is not letting them. He's not letting defense have any kind of leeway here, which is okay. The judge can be a hard judge. That's fine. He seems like he's fair to a certain extent, but when it comes to Ronald Sullivan, I've noticed he does cut him off, and he does say, "Are you through yet?" It's very rude for a judge to do that. And so Ronald Sullivan, in my opinion, is well within his rights to complain today, and I'm glad he did. So I don't know how this is going to go moving forward, but some comments I read today saying that the judge kind of mellowed out a little bit because, yeah, this is a rather long case. But like Ronald Sullivan said, his client, his defendant, is facing the rest of his life in prison, even though he's already serving the rest of his life in prison. But still, if he has a motion he thinks is important, he should at least get it out without the judge cutting him off. And the judge has been cutting him off from what I've noticed here in this trial. Then some people seem to think that the judge seemed a little biased. I'm going to reserve comment on that until the end of the trial. And then I'll talk about whether I think the judge was biased in this case or not. So like I said, we heard from Tyrone Crawford. We heard from Deontay Thompson. Now, he's known as Deontay Thompson. He currently plays for the Chicago Bears. At the time, when they had the party, he was playing. He had just won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. But currently, he plays for the Chicago Bears. Now, Deontay Thompson also used to play with Aaron Hernandez at the University of Florida. He testified today. There was something interesting, though. There was something interesting. I caught a few things today. For one, Papu. Now, first of all, Deontay Thompson said when he went back to the hotel, he mentioned after a particular party, he didn't see Aaron Hernandez and them back at the hotel. In fact, he didn't stay at the hotel. But when Papu testified, he said he went and picked up his firearm at the hotel, and then Thompson was sleeping. So I don't know how significant that is, but you can tell that these guys are not telling the full truth. I'm going to get into Tyrone Crawford in a minute. Don't worry. I'll get into him in a minute. But let me get into Pat Pooh. Now, Pat Pooh testimony is nothing. I'm not surprised with Pat Pooh. His name is Hernandez. His name is Oscar Hernandez, but his friends call him Pat Pooh. Now, I'm not surprised with his testimony. I knew he wasn't going to say much. However, the gun that they took from him, he said that the police still have the gun. That gun is not involved in either shooting. Okay, so that's important. That's not involved in either shooting, even though the police still have his gun. And I believe he purchased that firearm legally. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Now, as far as the details of Aaron Hernandez in Florida, Pat Pooh really didn't give us much. And also, he has some kind of immunity deal. Yeah, so it was stated in court that Pat Pooh agreed to some kind of immunity deal to testify in this case. Seemed like everybody's getting immunity deals here. Now, so he didn't really give us anything. I mean, he had selective amnesia. Like I said, I'm going to get to Tyrone Crawford in a minute because he really had amnesia. Okay, Tyrone Crawford. I forget what his nickname is, but they just called him for the trial Tyrone Crawford. And he was the guy that had, I believe it was like the sweatsuit kind of jacket on. He testified at the end. Let me just finish with Pat Pooh. Pat Pooh, like I said, he didn't really give much. He just said he knew Aaron Hernandez. He met Aaron Hernandez through Deontay. And Deontay met, obviously Aaron Hernandez at the University of Florida. So let's see what else I have here in my notes. Okay, I'm going to get into, before I get into Tyrone Crawford, I'm going to get into Deontay Thompson. Like I said, he currently plays for the Bears. At the end, he kind of gave Aaron Hernandez he pounded on his chest just to let Aaron Hernandez know, we still brothers. And he said he considered Aaron Hernandez a brother. They went to war together. He didn't say like a real war, but he's saying, in the trenches, on the field, on the gridiron. That was his gridiron brother. It's like a fraternity. And they really do act like a fraternity. So, but he didn't really give much. He's saying he had selective amnesia as well. He didn't really give too much information. He didn't hurt the defense and he didn't help the prosecution. He was these guys were a waste of time today, to be honest with you. But that's really all I got to say about Deontay Thompson. They call him D. He said that he do remember seeing Alexander Bradley, but, he said they all were intoxicated. Everybody claimed to be intoxicated, which they might not be lying. They probably was intoxicated during that Super Bowl party. Okay, let me get to Tyrone Crawford really quickly because I'm not going to hold too much of you guys' time today. Tyrone Crawford, he will continue his testimony tomorrow. I think they're just going to wrap up with him tomorrow because he really is not helping. He really has amnesia, and he doesn't remember or recall anything. Okay, he doesn't even recall his damn name. Okay, that's how bad it is. He's a total waste for the prosecution. And what the prosecution is trying to say is he originally testified under the grand jury. So he said one thing for the grand jury, and he's saying another thing that he doesn't remember now. And I'm going to tell you why he's probably saying this. Someone probably put him hip to a little legal information. They probably said to him, you're not going to get in trouble. You'll get in trouble if you deny what you said. But what you can do is you can say you don't remember. That's a trick. That's the oldest trick in the book in court. If you don't remember something, I mean, if you don't want to flat out categorically deny what you said because you can get in a lot of trouble. But what you do is you just say you don't remember. You just say you got amnesia. I don't remember. I don't recall. So what the prosecutors are doing, they're trying to let the jury know, like, look, this guy said this on this date, but now even though he doesn't remember, this is what he said. So they're asking him the questions, going through the motions, just so that they can hopefully so hopefully it resonates to the jury that he did say this, but now he doesn't recall. And I guess he's probably trying to say it. He doesn't want to look like a snitch on TV. But here's the thing, though, Mr. Tyrone Crawford, you could be considered a snitch because you already said one thing to the grand jury already. It's all, the paperwork is there. Okay, the paperwork is there. You already said it. So you still going to look like a snitch to your friends. If that's what you're trying not to do, you're still going to look that way. So it doesn't make any sense. But I do understand what he's doing now. He doesn't want to be the one to give up the goods. And I know what you're thinking. What do you mean? What does he know? Well, Tyrone Crawford was in the truck that night when Alexander Bradley got shot. And it's something interesting that he said. He said that they were in a dark, where is it? I know I have it in my notes. He was in a dark colored truck. Now he said they left in a blue truck. That goes with the testimony of the witness that heard the shooting. And he said he looked up and he saw a dark colored truck drive away. Okay, that's what the witness said. Remember that older gentleman that testified saying that he saw a dark colored truck drive away after Alexander Bradley got shot? Well, this guy, Tyrone Crawford, who was allegedly in the truck, he said, now this is where he said he was sitting. He was sitting in the back seat and back of the driver. And there was somebody in the middle seat. And Alexander Bradley was sitting in back of the passenger seat. And Aaron Hernandez was sitting in the front passenger seat. And then I don't know who was driving. So there's possibly, besides Tyrone Crawford, there was 1, 2, 3. There was 3 other men in the car that possibly know something. And I don't know if they're going to testify. But he's claiming he doesn't know anything. And some people say, I don't know why he has selective amnesia. Well, for one, he doesn't want to look like a snitch. And number 2, I mean, this man's life could be on the line because somebody else was in that truck when Alexander Bradley got shot. So maybe that's the case. But he is going to give more of his testimony tomorrow. I think it's not going to last that long because he's really not giving up anything. When I tell you that this man doesn't remember anything, he doesn't remember anything. So that's what we have right now with Tyrone Crawford. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up that motion earlier because Mr. Sullivan, because the judge cut him off again today, and he had enough and he complained. So he was well within his rights to do that. So, and for those that's making comments, because I see comments of people that's talking about Ronald Sullivan. Well, first of all, he's a Harvard law professor. He's a respected attorney. You can actually you don't take my word for it, actually do the research on Ronald Sullivan. He's actually, in many circles, considered top notch. So that's you can leave that up to your interpretation. I mean, he's a Harvard law professor, and I'm not saying anything bad about him, but I do see the comments, not the comments on my videos, but I'm watching the trial live, and some of those people actually listen to me as well because I told them I did. I don't know how it got out that I told them I did YouTube. Somehow I told them I did YouTube and I gave them the link. But some of those people, I've realized people just have things to say. These people are not lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, but here we are critiquing a lawyer that seems that his credentials are top notch. But I don't know. That's another video. But as far as is the judge biased, I'll get into that at a later date. But that's all I have today. But like I said, tomorrow we'll pick up again with Tyrone Crawford. There's some other people. Let me see. There was another witness that they were talking about. DJ Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez's brother will testify tomorrow. I think they said that he's up tomorrow. So we'll hear from DJ Hernandez. I don't know exactly what DJ Hernandez got to say, but we'll hear from DJ Hernandez tomorrow. All right, guys, that's all I have. yeah, that's all I have in my notes. All right, guys. I look forward to your comments, and also don't forget to hit the subscription button, and also feel free to share with your family and friends. All right, guys. Until next time, take care.